Hello everyone, a very warm welcome back to another perfume video. I hope you're doing well. So in today's video I'm going to be reviewing the brand new flanker to the Mon Guerlain line Sparkling Bouquet. So I'm going to be giving an in-depth review of this fragrance, and I'm also going to be comparing it to the original Mon Guerlain. So I'm going to be saying what the main differences are between these two, which one I think is better and which one I think would be more for you. If you are new to my channel and love everything and anything to do with fragrances, I would absolutely love it if you would stick around and subscribe to my channel. Also, if you would like to be notified every time I make a new upload, you can activate the notification bell as well. So first of all, starting off with the review of this fragrance. So this is the bottle here. It's exactly the same as all the other Mon Guerlains in the line, the only difference being this metallic ribbon that they have around here. Each one in the line has a slightly different one, and this one has a beautiful glistening silver, almost crystal-like sort of effect, which I really like. The box as well, as we can see here, is just the same as all the other Mon Guerlain boxes, the only difference being of course the silvery ribbon on the box as well as the bottle. So really lovely packaging, great quality packaging as you would expect from Guerlain. I love these bottles. I think they're very nice, kind of modern but classic at the same time, and I think they're really beautiful. Now, I actually bought this fragrance yesterday, so I wore it yesterday and I've worn it today, so I've had 2 days to kind of get to know the scent profile, so I'm still fairly new to it. So this is sort of a first impression slash review. So I've been wearing it for 2 days and I have to say I absolutely love it. I do think that it's a very likeable fragrance. I think that actually if you found the original Mon Guerlain too heavy, and if you prefer more like brighter floral kind of fragrances, I think you would actually— oh, can you hear that wind outside? The weather's been crazy here recently. Shushed, I'm trying to film. So the notes of Sparkling Bouquet: in the top we have pear, bergamot and mandarin orange. In the heart we have peony, lavender and jasmine sambac, and in the base notes we have Tahitian vanilla, white musk and sandalwood. So I was really intrigued by these notes. There's a lot of notes in there that I really enjoy. So pear, for example, I think pear is lovely in fragrances. It can add quite a bright, juicy quality to them, and sometimes a sweetness as well. The vanilla, of course, is beautiful, and that's a classic note in all of the Mon Guerlain flankers. And of course the lavender. So the vanilla and the lavender in the Mon Guerlain fragrances are very iconic. They're very recognisable to the line. This flanker is no exception to that, as it contains both of those notes again. But this one, in my opinion, is extremely different, and I'll get into that in a wee while. This also has some white musk and sandalwood, which I thought was really interesting. I know the Intense version, Mon Guerlain Intense, that has musk in it, and up to this point I think that was the only one in the line that had musk. So now they've added musk to this latest flanker, which was quite interesting. And sandalwood as well is a note that I really enjoy. So how does Sparkling Bouquet smell? This fragrance, to me, is a very bright, uplifting, sweet and crisp fragrance. Upon the first application you definitely get a lot of that pear, the bergamot and the mandarin orange, so it's quite a bright citrusy opening. One thing I really noticed about the pear in here is that it's a very crisp and refreshing pear note. It's nothing like the pear in La Belle, just to give you some reference, because I know that fragrance has a very prominent pear notes, and to me the pear in La Belle is extremely syrupy. It's almost like a warm sweet pear, if you know what I mean, like a juicy pear. The pear in this fragrance is not like that, in my opinion. It's a very clean, crisp, more realistic smelling pear, in my opinion. And I actually prefer it. Like, I prefer the pear in this fragrance to the pear in La Belle. After a few moments of it warming up on your skin, I would say the mandarin orange definitely comes through a bit more. So the bergamot is kind of gone, it sort of dissipates, and the pear and the mandarin orange really kind of start to come through. This is a nice kind of lighter, brighter floral version, and I think that this one is possibly more likeable actually than the original. As it dries down onto the skin, so a few hours into the dry down, it becomes quite powdery. It's still quite sweet, but it's not actually what I would consider to be a super sweet fragrance at all. So I would say it's kind of bright, sparkling, citrusy, floral, powdery, and sweet. I would say this is a very nice, clean, bright and likeable floral feminine scent. If you enjoy fragrances like Valentino Donna Born in Roma, if you like that one, and if you like Armani My Way or Versace Bright Crystal, like those kind of fragrances, then I do think you would like this. It does have that bright, likeable, clean, sweet quality about it. The funny thing about this fragrance is I've actually noticed that it has some of the notes play peekaboo, if that makes sense. So like sometimes I can smell certain facets of this scent profile and then it'll disappear and then it will re-emerge. So the notes in here work together in a very interesting way. So sometimes you will detect more of one note, then it will kind of fall back a bit, and then you will smell more of some of the other notes. So I really noticed that with the pear and with the original Mon Guerlain DNA. So depending on the temperature, maybe sometimes I can smell more of the pear and more of the brighter qualities of this fragrance, and other times I really get more of that powdery, sweet vanilla lavender aspect coming through. Really interesting fragrance from that point of view. One thing I will say though is if you are the type of person who really places a lot of value on longevity and performance and things like that, then I would maybe just be wary of this one, because I don't think it's that strong a fragrance. The original Mon Guerlain is definitely stronger, it has more substance to it. This one is like overall a lighter scent. I would even go as far to say that it almost performs like an eau de toilette at times. I recently watched Tara's review from Opinionated Scents. I recently watched her review on this fragrance. I'll link it below. She did a fantastic review, but she mentioned something and I totally agree with her. So Tara mentioned that she thinks that this is truly a warm weather fragrance, and I just have to agree. So when I first sprayed this yesterday, it was quite cold, and I honestly was struggling to actually smell it, and I was kind of thinking, what on earth, you know, it just wasn't really blooming at all, it wasn't really projecting or anything like that. And then I wore it later on when it was a bit warmer in my room, and the scent was definitely projecting more. So I definitely think that this is a warmer weather fragrance. I think it needs the heat, I think it needs a warmer climate to really blossom and like open up on the skin and project and things like that. So this is definitely 100% going to be a favourite of mine to wear in the summer, but if it's still quite cold, I'm not sure this is the best fragrance for cold weather at all, just because it really seems to struggle to shine in the colder temperatures. Something I love about this fragrance is the way that all of the notes work together. So I think the brightness of the pear, the brightness of the mandarin orange, the bergamot, it just enhances the peony and the jasmine and all of the other notes. So it's a beautiful, bright and uplifting, sweet floral fragrance with a tiny touch of that original Mon Guerlain DNA in there. So the original Mon Guerlain, the notes of this fragrance, we have lavender and bergamot in the top notes, we have iris, jasmine, sambac and rose in the heart notes, and in the base notes we have Tahitian vanilla, coumarin, sandalwood, benzoin, licorice and patchouli. So right off the bat, you know, you can tell that this is a heavier scent. It's got patchouli in here, it's got licorice, it's got rose, it's got just heavier notes in there, making more of an impact. This fragrance here,
pear, bergamot, mandarin orange, peony, lavender, jasmine, vanilla, white musk and sandalwood.
Overall, those notes are just lighter, there's no licorice in here, there's no patchouli, and patchouli is something which can really add a lot of staying power to a fragrance. So I would imagine that that's possibly the reason why this is such a light fragrance, just because it doesn't really have anything in the base to really anchor it and make it stick to the skin. Mon Guerlain is definitely a heavier fragrance. It has a lot more depth and it's not nearly as bright. It's a completely different mood. So this is more of a subdued, rich, deep, feminine, creamy, powdery, vanilla, lavender kind of fragrance with those kind of heavier base notes in there. The Sparkling Bouquet, on the other hand, is, like I say, it's lighter, brighter, more light-hearted, I would say. Not as serious as Mon Guerlain. I think Mon Guerlain can sometimes smell a bit, it's stunning and I adore it, but it can sometimes smell perhaps maybe a little bit serious. I'm not sure. It's not what I would consider to be a a fun-loving, bright and happy kind of fragrance. This one on the other hand, I would say that it's a brighter, more cheerful, less serious kind of fragrance. Something I was quite surprised at actually about the new Sparkling Bouquet is just how different it is to any of the other Mon Guerlain flankers, even the Floral. So I actually thought that this one would smell fairly similar to Floral for some reason, because it mentioned bouquet, so I was assuming, okay, this is another floral version, but they are very, very different. So the Mon Guerlain Floral, that's a stronger scent, that has more substance, and it's more similar to the original Mon Guerlain, whereas this one, it's not that similar to the original in my opinion. It has a whisper of the original Mon Guerlain smell in there, but it's just taken in a completely different direction just because of the brightness, the lightness, the light-hearted mood of the fragrance, the weight of the scent as well. This is a much lighter scent. It's kind of a thinner veil of a fragrance, whereas I would say the original Mon Guerlain is really quite a weighty scent in the sense that it projects more, it lasts, and just by its very nature, the way that it smells, it's just heavier in my opinion. So overall, in my opinion, this is a beautiful take on a very prominent pear, sort of light-hearted, floral, girly fragrance. Definitely a warm weather scent, like in the heat of summer, this would be fantastic. It's not going to be cloying, it's not going to be too much at all, whereas I think some might find the original Mon Guerlain too heavy for summer. I know I probably would. So in that case, I will definitely be reaching for my beautiful Sparkling Bouquet fragrance. I think this will be fantastic for the summertime. I do love it. I am really going through a bit of a phase where I love this specific type of fragrance. So I love those clean, bright, sweet shampoo type of scents, and that's what this is in my opinion. This is the kind of mood which this fragrance evokes, and that's the exact type of fragrance that I'm loving at the moment. So this is right up my street. But like I say, if you prefer your heavier, stronger fragrances that last and project and things like that, I would say be very, very careful with this one. I definitely wouldn't blind buy it. If you prefer stronger fragrances, I definitely would not blind buy this because you would possibly be disappointed. What I would do is you could maybe sample it if you can, but yeah, if you prefer stronger fragrances, this is probably not going to be the one for you. But if you love like your light, sweet, feminine, floral, you know, uplifting kind of fragrances, and you don't mind having to top up the fragrance or things like that, then I would say that there's a good chance that you would really enjoy this one. I absolutely love that pear note in here. It's just so crisp, it's so sparkling, it's like a crystallized pear or something like that. It's just so beautiful, perfect for the warmer weather. It's actually very warm in this room today, and it almost has like a calming, cooling sort of effect, which I just love. It's not a cloying fragrance at all. It's like a subtle, thin, feminine veil of a beautiful, clean, sweet floral scent, and I just love it. If you tried La Belle by Jean Paul Gaultier and found it too sickly, too strong and too sweet, then I would give this one a try, because actually the pear in here is much nicer, and this is a more subtle fragrance. It's not as like strong, it's not as powerful as La Belle. And likewise, if you really enjoyed La Belle, you might like this if you want like a much lighter, softer take on a pear scent. Overall, I would rate this fragrance maybe a 7 out of 10, 7 or 8 out of 10. I really do like it. For the summertime, this would be like a favourite possibly, but at the moment it's hard for me to rank it like super, super high just because of the lasting power and things like that. Like, it doesn't last long, and I've yet to see how it actually performs in the summer. Like, I'm assuming it will perform better, but like I'm not 100% sure. So at the moment I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. It's a really, really stunning fragrance. I do love it. It's just quite light. It's not got an awful lot of staying power. I think if they'd just amped up the concentration of the oils in here or something just to give it a little bit extra strength, then this would be a standout fragrance. I do, however, think it is a beautiful addition to the Mon Guerlain line. There's nothing else in the line even remotely like this. This is really different to all of the other ones in my opinion. The fragrance that this is closest to in the Mon Guerlain line, I would say, is the Eau de Toilette. If you've smelt the Eau de Toilette actually, and if you love that one, then I do think you would like this. This has that similar weight, it has the similar sort of strength of scent, and it's just more similar to the Eau de Toilette. It's in a completely different direction to the original. Like, these are two completely different fragrances. This one here being a very strong, rich, deep fragrance, like that beautiful powdery lavender vanilla scent with the licorice, the patchouli, all of those delicious notes in the base. That's the kind of fragrance this is. Very feminine, very classy, perfect for every day, but quite a rich, strong and substantial scent, I would say. This is a very substantial fragrance. This one is weaker, it's lighter, it's not as powerful, and definitely more suited to the summertime. Crisp, clean, refreshing, sweet, floral, powdery, feminine, with that touch of vanilla and lavender in there as well. I just love this one, you guys. It's really beautiful, and I look forward to wearing this more in the warm weather, to be honest. I think I have a good feeling about this one. I think I'm gonna absolutely love it in the spring and summer when things warm up. So that is my review of the new Mon Guerlain Sparkling Bouquet fragrance and comparison with the original. If you found this video helpful and enjoyable, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share your thoughts in the comment section below, subscribe to my channel for more perfume videos, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care, guys. Bye.